Okay. Hello everybody and welcome to our new stream. So today we are going to create our network programmability lab. As part of this project, I'm going to explore anything that falls under this category. So in general, the idea is I built a lab in GNS3. There will be multiple vendors, so there will be Cisco, there will be Juniper, Arista, probably Cumulus, maybe some others as well. And then after that is done, I also, basically I will start exploring any kind of network programmability feature out there. So starting with just, okay, let's do some config push using Python, okay, so some very basic one. And then stream after stream we will add on top of it, so things like, okay, let's integrate, let's use netconf, let's use restconf, let's switch to Ansible, right? Let's integrate some IPAM system to manage our network, manage devices and so on. Then maybe, okay, that is all cool, maybe let's also integrate some kind of let's say some notification system using Spark. So whenever something important happens on the device, then the change is pushed to Spark, and then you are notified via the chat. Чаще гормочнет. So, and maybe later we will even go to, okay, let's have all the config and all of the management in Git, and then build CI/CD system on top of it, so that we can achieve the actual like NetDevOps style, of network management there. So for today, the agenda is pretty straightforward. There will be nothing mind-blowing, and mainly because today's first stream, this will be like a whole journey, and I expect it to take like months, maybe like 5 months or even 6 months, and because there is so many important stuff, so many interesting stuff, so I want to explore all of that. So I already, I know some of these technologies. Let's say like I'm pretty familiar with things like Python. I'm pretty familiar as well with some on-box stuff, on-box hosting, with restconf, netconf, but some stuff like Napalm, for example, is very new for me. I have never used any kind of IPAM like Netbox and so on. So like some of the stuff, you feel very confident doing that. Some of the stuff, it will involve a lot of documentation reading and stuff like that. As I mentioned in my blog post, and actually let me add the link if you wanted to read that. I will add it later actually. So just yesterday I written a post about my first Twitch experience and first streaming experience. So before I was just writing Python application live. It was connected to networking, but not directly connected. So I finished with that, and now we move to this project. So here I just built some draft network in GNS3 already. I will walk you through like what is here and what is the idea here. Obviously this is just this is probably like maybe 25% of the network I have in mind. Like at first I wanted to say, okay, like for the first stream maybe it would make sense to have the whole network pre-built, but then I realized that for people who are just joining, it may be too hard to understand what exactly I'm doing right now. So I decided, okay, like I will just have part of the network first. Let's see how it goes, and then we will add some more devices on top of it. Okay, So let me quickly walk you through what we have here. So in this case, I have basically two, let's say on the top here, and maybe I should also have some text marks here. So here on the top, where there are a couple of, sorry for typing in Russian. So there will be HQ here on the top. So there will be like main headquarters. There are two PCs connected to two switches. In this case, those are virtual IS, so ISV switches, and then those are connected to two CSRs. CSRs are running 16.7.1, and I think I should also add this on the right. So I have ISV L2. Those are running 15.2. So those are iOS devices. Let's say iOS 15.2. We have CSR 16.7.1 running ISXC 16.7.1. So okay, then we also have a couple of these other switches right here in the middle. Those are unmanaged switches that are provided by Genet3. So the only thing they do, they basically provide this multi-access Ethernet network, like one broadcast subnet here. That's the only reason I put them there. So those we are not going to touch. Then we have another CSR hub 1. So this will be our DMVPN hub. So yep. So that one is also running ISXC 16.7.1. The reason, by the way, I chose 16.7.1, this is one of the latest images, is that, well, basically in 16 train we started to have most of like programmability features. Like there is netconf since 16.3, the restconf is since 16.6. On box hosting is also from, I think, 16.6. So yeah, that's also the reason why I have one of the latest images there. So then we also have PE1. In this case, this will be part of service provider network, and let me put it here as well. And I also will need to make those nodes bigger. So this will be ASP network. Obviously, like right now, it consists only of one device, but in future, I'm planning to add here. Let's say also like plans. ISP network. We will add we will add ISXRV 9K. We will add another CSR and probably some Juniper box, maybe QFX Juniper, or I'm not sure yet. Juniper maybe. I will just put it as a question mark here. So this ISP network will grow here like to the right, and obviously okay, let me finish first, and then I will tell you again like what I plan more. So in this case, on the bottom I have like one very small branch. Basically there is one PC connected to unmanaged switch, and we are connected to CSR, which will be as DMVPN spoke. Okay. Yeah, so for now this lab is not, as you can see, is not really multi-vendor at this point, but mainly I wanted to like start somewhere and then we will grow. Okay, so here let me add some text node, and also really need to make all of those bigger. So let's say this will be branch 1. Let me also make them bigger, probably right now. Maybe 18. Okay. Okay, perfect. So there is one more device here. This is ASA, Array Firewall 1. So this one will be potentially it will be connected to the internet as well, and it will have it will be basically a remote access VPN server. So like computers on the internet can connect. So probably in the future I will also have some like Windows virtual machine somewhere here in the topology connected to the internet, so that we can get we can any connect in, for example. So yep. So for now we have ISV, we have ASA. Let's put here ASAV 982. We have a bunch of CSRs, and for PCs we also use routers for now. Now here you can see that here on the right there are also, here on the left there are also some connections that I didn't explain so far. So what that is? So basically I am connecting all of the routers and switches to this another unmanaged switch, which is connected to NOT node. So in GNet3, the NOT node is basically how you can get out of GNet3 network via your host machine, basically. So in this case, this whole app is running on my remote server, and using this node, we can get basically this node provides DHCP services. So we get DHCP address, IP address via DHCP, and we get a NAT through this box. So if I, from any other device, I can access the internet if I want to. And then there is another one box here, Ubuntu controller. So this one will be basically our, main controller. So this is a device that I'm going to use to do all of the stuff that I want to do. So like if I want to push some config using netmiko, okay, I will do it from there. If I want to run some Ansible playbook, it's going to be done from here. Yep. The only problem is that I downloaded cloud image from some Ubuntu resource, but I didn't set it up properly. So actually, when I VNC to it, it asks for credentials, which I didn't set up in any way. So probably I will have to investigate that for some upcoming stream, or maybe some viewers will help me do it on the stream. So in any case, even if this one does not really work, I can still do all stuff from my host machine, because once everything is connected to this NOT node from my host machine, I am able to connect to these devices as well. So this is what I'm going to start today, and then if I will figure out how to. Oh, actually, I think they set it up. So osboxes.org. Let me see. This will work. I just saw it in the in description. Let's see. osboxes.org. No. Interesting. Okay. I will try again. If it will not work, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so this node is not really working right now. Well, it is working, I just don't have credentials for it. I will still have to connect all of these other devices to this Ethernet switch as well. This is what I'm going to do. And what is the plan actually for today? So basically I will go to every of these devices via console first, and I will configure SSH access and maybe static IPs. And after I have done that, what I really want to do, I want to do any kind of other configuration. So IP addressing, HSRP, DMVPN, whatever it is. I don't want to do it manually anymore. So I want to explore all other options that that we have right now. Okay, so this is my plan. And obviously, guys, if you have any kind of idea, something that you want me to cover, you think it's fit for the stream, just make sure you mention in the chat. This is like, even though it's like my journey, you're welcome to write along, right? And you're more so welcome to contribute as well. Okay, so yeah, I think we start. Let's also put some of the problems that we have. So Ubuntu controller, no credentials. Okay, cool. I'm going to put another node here for the subnet. For some reason, okay, let me duplicate this. So this management subnet will be, hold on, it will be 192.168.122.0/24 /0/24. I think I will have to make it a little bit smaller. It's a really big one. Okay, this is good. And then the NAT node will be .1. So let me copy that as well. Cool. So yeah, I'm thinking like, and also like where I was preparing for the stream, I thought, okay, like I will need to do an IP addressing, and then I realized, okay, if I'm going to do IP addressing, then it really makes sense also to have like IPAM. So probably I will I will start covering some IPAM next time. For today, we will focus on a little bit more basic stuff, because I have never really used IPAM and I wanted to try Netbox, open source one. I imagine that will take the whole stream. Okay, so we have the NOT node here. Just for the test, I connected this device to this NOT node. I will probably delete this link. It does not really make sense to have connection from PC to management network. So then let me start a bunch of these devices. And I'm not really sure it's a good idea to start everything. No, it's probably not a good idea. I will just start, let's say, 4 of them for now. Also, a very important note. So while it's starting, I will create a Git repository. I will create a Git repository on my computer, and it will be on my GitHub account. So basically, whenever I write some script or I'm trying something, all of that you will be able to find on my GitHub. So I really want to make sure that all of the stuff is open source, and if you want to, let's say, follow along, or maybe let's say not follow along, but then later you want to take the stream recording and start doing the stuff yourself, you have everything you need to follow. And if you have some trouble, you can always reference the code that it's public. Okay, so let me start with that. So I'm going to go to my repositories, and probably also need to go to my GitHub account. So let me do that. So github.com. So my profile, and then I need to create a new repo. Okay, so let's call it network programmability lab. Description: all code written for the network programmability lab covered live on stream on Twitch. Okay, cool. So I also want to have readme, and I think I want to, let's add default git ignore for Python, and let's add the license. And now we struggle with licenses. So let me go to the Google git what license you choose. There is this beautiful website which always explains the licenses very easily. I think it's like choose a license. Yeah, it's choosethelicense.com. So I want to make sure that all of the code is I want it simple and permissive. Commercial use, distribution, modification, private use, copy of the license and copyright notice must be included. Okay, so this looks good. So let me include MIT license. And let's create this stuff. Okay. So let me start, let me clone this. So git clone. Okay. So if I now go to network programmability folder. Oh, of course it's as a CD. Okay, perfect. So I have this repo now on my computer, great. So probably also we'll need to go to, okay, and this one complains about duplex. Let me try fixing that. So I have to go to Ethernet E3 and say duplex full. Okay. Okay, so I have to go to, so this one, this is my server called Sapphire. This is where basically where the lab is hosted. So I'm right now connected to it, and if, let me see what is the IP address here on this one PC, this one. So I should be able to access that network from my host machine, which I can. Okay, perfect. So, and I think I'm going to clone my GitHub repo as well. So let me cd to repositories, and let me do the same git clone command that I used. So git clone. Okay, so on this host machine where the lab is hosted, I now have my repo. There is absolutely no code in it, but that's fine. That's all good. Okay. So this PC, we don't really need the management for this PC. Let me start going to this nodes. I don't want to enter initial configuration dialog. And I really hope everything will work the way it's supposed to, but you know, it's live, so you never know. Okay, so let's do this. So those are CSRs. Let me enter enter enable mode. Let's verify that those are running 16.7.1. Yeah, so those are running here 16.7.1, and I think just give me a second. I will make the font bigger because I believe it may be a little bit small. So let me see. So let me make it 19, maybe 19. Oh, oops, I have to do it again. So let me select 18 now, click OK. default session 19. Okay, so now if I close this one, let me also start this another computer. For some reason I didn't start it, and I will start hub as well. I think I don't need firewall for now. It's a little bit too early for that. Okay. So I will also need connections here for all other devices. Okay. Looks good. Okay, so let's see if we can. So this one I'll leave it like this. Let's see if I can connect to all of these devices. Okay. Okay, so switches are connected. The hub one, I just started it, so it's still booting. CSR1 and CSR2 should be all good. And for some reason, the font is, I think, the same. Okay, let me know, guys, if the font is really small for you on the stream. If that is the case, I will make it bigger. I think it should be okay, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let me do very basic config as I described. So I want to make sure that the host name is there. Now I will need the interface labels because I need to connect to the management. So, and let's see, are there any VRFs? So I also want to make sure that management network is completely separated from all other, from the rest of the network. So let me create VRF definition, and let's call it what, management. Let's say address family IPv4. We don't need RD and RT, so it's all should be good. So now I go to my gigabit one and I say it should be VRF forwarding management. And now I should be able to assign an IP address, and let's say this one will be 192.168, and it gave me DHCP address. I don't want DHCP address, I want static one. So let's say IP address 192.168.122.1. So I will also need to configure a default route in this VRF. So I think the syntax is VRF management 190. Oh, oops. I cannot claim that IP address. It's already claimed by another device. So let's say it's .10, or no, let's have 11. So now I have to also configure default route. So let's say IP VRF management and then default route. We are going through 192.168.122.1. Okay, so and then I also need to configure IP domain lookup, and I need to configure DNS server. So IP DNS server will be 192.168.122.1. oh no, it's IP name server, I guess. IP name server 192.168.122.1 to make sure that we can actually resolve entries. And then what else? Oh, we need to configure the domain name to make sure that we can generate so that we can generate the SSH key. So let's say it's lab.com, or no, let's just put let's have lab.com so that people can take this and apply it to their network. And now we generate the crypto key, so we say crypto key generator RSA modules 124, and maybe we'll configure version IPSSH version 2. So the last step will be to configure the username. Basically, let's have, I'm thinking if I should create like admin everywhere. Let's have admin. So username admin privilege 15, password admin. Okay, and the last step will be to enable SSH basically. So we say transport input all privilege level 15, let's say, and what else? Login local, and I think that's pretty much it. So if I did everything correctly, let's see if there is an IP address. Oops. This is interesting. For some reason, Gigabit 2 got IP address. Okay. This does not really make sense to me right now, but let's see. So show IP route VRF management. So if I did everything correctly, I should be able to ping my my host machine, which I can. So I'm not sure what is happening there with. Oh, I know what that is, because those are VLANs here everywhere. The switch one is okay. Yeah, I got it. So let me go to Gigabit 2 and say no IP address, and Gigabit 3 no IP address. So if I'm able to ping now here in management, I can go to my host machine and I can say ping 192.168.122.11, which I can. And if I did everything exactly right, I should be able to SSH to it. So I can say yes, and let's say admin. Perfect. So now I can actually SSH to the box from my management machine. So let me do this. I'm going to do show run for my CSR, and I'm going to copy part of the config here, because we have to replicate this kind of config on another boxes here. So this part, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open my text editor, and just last week I switched to another text editor called Visual Studio Code. Give me a second, I will bring up the bring it up on my another screen. So 1 second, guys. Okay, so here it is. So it's a network programmability lab. Okay. So I am going already to create a folder, and this folder one will be say on box. So this is the stuff that will be part of the unbox. As part of the unbox, we will have configs. So let's say new folder called configs, and we will have base config. So stuff that we need to configure to make sure that we have remote access. So here will be base. Okay, cool. So now in this folder I'm going to start creating my config files. So let's say what? Let's say 1.csr, 1.cfg, and let's actually have txt. Let's have txt. So I'm going to copy this part and I'm going to leave a bunch of stuff here. So like this maybe. Now I have my username admin, okay. I don't need a lot of stuff here, like pki, no. This part I can delete as well. So I definitely need vref. I need my DNS, I need domain name, I need user, I need to make sure that those are not DHCP. So I don't need really this part. I need default route in management. I need the IP SSH version 2. And here I'm going to leave it like this, but I will just add one entry. Crypto key generate RSA modules. Let's say 2048. And let's say end at the end, and at the very top let's say conft, and maybe even enable. So in ideal world, what you would do, you would use a feature like zero touch provisioning or plug and play. You know, there are different names for this idea, but basically with that you are able to push some template config on the box that was just a bot. So you have your, you have some kind of controller. So for example, you could have, if you have Disco, you can have like APKM or DNA center, where, in the system you specify, okay, like if I see a device with a serial number, I'm going to push it that config, and then using some DHCP options, you specify where this controller is located. So device boots, it runs some kind of zero-touch provisioning agent or PNP agent, whatever you call it. It gets the stuff via DHCP. It then knows through the options that, okay, I should go to this controller and get some like config or script or whatever it is. I download this stuff, and now I apply it, maybe like with some changed IP addresses, whatever you actually put on the controller, whatever you want, right? And then you have this base config. So in this particular case, I'm not going to do ZTP because I don't have, I don't have a controller like this in my lab, so I don't have like APKM here installed or stuff like that. So it will be like too complicated without a lot of I think a lot of benefit. So because of that, I'm going to have this like really base config provisioned manually. I think it's not really a big deal. So we have the CSR, and I also need to say the host name. It will be hostname CSR1. Let me quickly check if all of that seems to be alright, which it does. Okay, so I'm going to now copy this file and create the same one for my another CSR2. So it will have CSR2, most of the stuff will be the same. Basically I changed here, and I also need to make it bigger. And I'm not yet sure actually what is the setting here. Font size? Okay, font size. So I need to add here editor font size. Let's say it will be what? Let's say it will be 14. No, let's say it will be 16. No, it's really too big. Let's say it will be 14. Okay, 14 should be fine. Make a virus, please. No, I don't think I would need to have a virus. Why would you want to create a virus? It's like stuff like Spectre and Meltdown. It's not good enough. I think it's already did a lot of like noise, and no need to create something on your own. People are already doing it for you. Okay, so let's save this. No, you know, guys, I think it's still very small to see, so I will change it to 16. And let me see if I can. Okay, cool. So I changed here CSR hostname, I changed the IP address, and that's pretty much the only thing I changed. So if I did everything correctly, and I believe I did, it says here failed address. Can I ping cisco.com? Hold on. Ping vref. Oh, I think I know what that is. Ping vref management. I think I will not be able to do it. Right. So I didn't specify the. Right. I specified the DNS server, so I said name server, but I didn't specify vref. So I need to specify vref. Okay, now I hope it will work fine, which it does. Okay, so I need to remove that config. Actually, this one is this is not correct. So I need to change it to vref. Okay. Okay, so I have here vref. I have here vref. So all seems to be fine, so let me copy this, pass to my another CSR. Okay. Okay. So if that part is done correctly, I should be able to SSH via the same way. So it says, do you want to accept this? I do. So put a password and okay, it's all good. So I can SSH to another box, great. So CSR1, CSR2 are all good. So hub1, I will change this a little bit. I think, yeah, I will. I think I will change this to like hub. Let's say HQ hub1 for now. And here, let's say this box will be okay, guys, I need some help. Let's have some cities here. So in which city you would like to have HQ, and in what city would you like to have our very big, huge branch consisting of one router and one host? So I will have those, like some names there. Let's agree that we have only like major cities. Okay, so while you're thinking and you're putting that in the chat, let me go back to these boxes and let's create another template here. So hub 1 is also connected via gigabit 1. So let's here add the hub 1. Hub 1. Let's have here 13, or maybe let's say 20. Let's have 20 here. No, let's have here actually 15. Okay, so we will have, I just need to change this host name here, and that's pretty much the only thing I have to change. So it will be like hub 1, and there will be some prefix. Okay, if you guys don't put it, I will put San Jose here. I will put a SJ here for our hub. Okay. So let's rename this as well. So this one will be SJ hub 1. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So probably I will have to change the CSR1 and CSR2 later, but not now. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I really want to do some programming, you know. I messed around with this lab long enough. Let me actually do this. Let me actually start all of those other devices as well. So like while I will be bothered by some other stuff, those will boot. So now HJ Hub 1 should be also accessible from my management. Yeah, I have this. I'm so used to putting password Cisco that I cannot get it right on my first attempt. Let me put here somewhere that maybe here, like duplicate credentials admin. Maybe this will help. Okay, so and for now, like for right now, I have base config on these 4 routers, and I'm going to do 4 switches here as well. And I think for now, like we are okay. So like for these 2 switches, and for now that will be all. Okay, so let's see. I'm thinking if I should have a VLAN there, or I should have native routed interface there. Let's see what our CDP says. Show CDP neighbors. Maybe have PC, you have switch. Okay, CSR is not running CDP by default, so we don't have those. This is kind of strange. I think, let's see, what does it say? So on gigabit 00, this box is connected to the rest of the network. So okay, let's try creating that as well. So I copy this hub, copy, and this will be SJ switch 1. Hi Slayer Darth, welcome to the stream. Okay, so I have the switch one. I will have here the name sj switch one. We have management, we have VRF, we have lab. Here the interface will be gigabit 0.0. We will have VRF as well. We will have a management IP.13. And there is one change that I will have to do. I will have to say no switch port, because this is a switch, right? So I think that's pretty much it. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it will work. Let's see. Okay, it seems it worked fine. So let's say check an IP address. So if I did it correctly, if I do in management ping 168.1.2.1, I can ping. Okay, so this looks good. So let's also try pinging cisco.com. This one doesn't work for some reason. Oops. Oops. Show IP route VRF management. Okay, this looks good to me. Let's try connecting from here. So, oh, this actually looks good, and it says admin. Okay, I'm connected to the switch, so it seems it worked fine. And let's now copy, and let's have switch 2 configure the same way. Okay, so perfect. Okay, oh, okay, you know what, I also will just save config. I learned this on, like, when I was preparing for CCIE lab. Whenever you configure something, just save it. I mean, it's obviously different than what you would do in production, but for like lab purposes, like having saved config is a really good idea. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So let me just do a quick check here. So from my host, I should be able to ping 192.168.122.10.11, .12, .13, .14, and .15. Okay, for now I think that's good enough. We have at least 5 devices, so I don't want to spend another hour configuring like those ASAs and all of those other devices for this base config. So we have pretty much those configs here as well. You know what, I'm sorry, but it's still really bugging me that we have here different notation. So let's just put like SJR1, and we'll have to rename it obviously SJR1, and this one will be SJR2, and this will be SJR2. So I just have to, oops, I saved this. Yeah, let me just quickly fix those. So this will be hostname SJR1 to VR, and this will be hostname SJR2. Okay, cool, awesome. So if I have SSH access to them, I can now write some kind of some kind of script, right? The only like problem with my whole like lab setup is I really like doing everything on my local computer first, because I have all of the tools that I like and so on. And in this particular case, I will need to use this machine which does not have everything. So like one workaround would be to use git locally. So and then I just git pull on remotely, and then I run this. I think this is what I will do. Maybe I will think of some better way, maybe some tunnel, or I don't know yet. I really like developing on my local Mac because I have like the whole environment set up the way I like, you know, and stuff like that. Okay, so I think we can start messing around. So let's, as I told you, like we will, I think, cover IPAM next time, and this will be actually like a good segue. For now, you will have to come up with some kind of IP addressing scheme anyways. Let's do it. So I like 10/8. So I think we will use that. We'll need to like figure out what do we want to have between devices and so on. So I think for like PCs we will have here I think I'm going to document on the right here. So let me see. So here's software. This will be software. And I also forgot to add Ubuntu 16.4, which doesn't work. Okay. And here let's have our notes about IP addressing. And then next time we are going to probably mess around with netbox and move all of those IP addressings there. Okay, so IP addressing. Let's main subnet will be 10.0.0.0/8. For PC1 VLAN 10, this will be 10. Let's say the site identifier will be what? Will be 1. And the VLAN will be, let's say, 10/0/24. And then PC2 will be VLAN 20, which is 10.1.20.0/24. Then we will have interconnects between all of those infrastructure devices. So between point to point, I think we will have /30. So like P2P, let's say we'll have 10.1. I'm thinking of a good subnet for it. Let's say it will be 100.0/24, and we will get /30 for or point to points. Or maybe let's have 0. Why not 0? Let's have 0 there, and we will get 30 for all point to points. And in one case we will need bigger subnet here between CSRs. We will need also /, so there are 4 devices connected, maybe more in the future. So we will have we'll carve 3 bits for it, so it will be /29 there. Yeah, it will be /29 there. Get 4 more for broadcast network between routers firewall. We will get /29. Okay, looks good to me. Okay, so let's actually start. I'm thinking, what would be the proper place to start it? So let's see. Let's go back to our Visual Studio here. Let's create let's create what? Let's create a folder, and we will start with netmiko. So for those of you who don't know, or hold on, let me think for a second. So I want to have a like proper structure. So let's say let's have Python SSH. So on here we will have Python SSH folder, and we'll have some script there. For now we will call it python ssh.py. So for those of you who don't know what is netmiko, so netmiko is a Python library developed by Kirk Byers, which simplifies SSH connection to the devices. So it's pretty straightforward, like you try it once and then you can easily replicate it, like really easy. I will probably show you some. I'm thinking if I should do it or not. Let's see also when I will, what will be the time, but I have something for you there that usually you will not, usually you will not find examples easily. So I have the script, and I'm also thinking like, okay, I also have to think about, I have to simplify somehow device connection stuff. So I need, and whenever I do that, I'm thinking about like Ansible inventory file. So I'm thinking if I should have like already inventory file similar to Ansible one, or I will have some other, like, I don't know, like ini file or whatever it is. I'm thinking I need already YAML file. So let's actually create here a file which we'll call like inventory YAML. And I already forgot the syntax for YAML, so I will have to check it. And I will inspire by Ansible inventory file. So let's see. So let me also, while I'm doing that, I will have to create a couple of things. I will have to create here a file called requirements.txt. So requirement.txt, if you have programmed in Python before, you probably know what it is. But well, basically this is a file where you specify all of your dependencies in terms of libraries. So let's say I will have netmiko. Let's also specify a version. So in order to do it, I will have to do pip3 freeze, and I grab netmiko. Let's see what is the version I have right now. So let's say minimum this one. I will need a file which is parsing YAML in Python. So let me think. So parsing YAML in Python. There is no default library. I think it's just called YAML, the library, or PyYAML. And my Google doesn't want to open up fast enough. Okay, so how can I parse without relying on C headers is PyYAML. Okay. Okay, so let's see what is here. So oh, come on. You pip install, you don't get the source. You just pip install. Why are they doing this to me? Pip install PyYAML. Okay. So let me see if I have PyYAML installed here. Grab PyYAML. No, I don't have PyYAML, so I will pip install PyYAML. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. Let's actually do the following. Let's create a virtual environment in Python first. So let me find in my notes what is the proper syntax. I think it's like -vvn for something like this. I don't recall on the top of my head. So it's Python 3 -m venv, and then I specify the path. So the path will be, and my music stopped. Just give me a second, I will relaunch the music. Okay, it should be all good. So I have to here specify the path, and let me first create it and I will explain what virtual environment is. So let's say network netdevops let's have netdevops, why not? Okay, so and in order to switch to it, I have to say source virtualenv netdevops bin activate. Okay, so what is a virtual environment? So basically, virtual environment is a copy of your Python installation with standard libraries, as well as with Python binary, where you can install the packages for your projects and they do not interfere with what you have installed system-wide. Okay. And let me see, I think the stream is dropping frames occasionally. Not 100% sure. Let me know, guys, if you hit some problems with stream. Maybe it's my internet that is lagging. Okay, so I have this. I have virtualenv. I have my requirements.txt file where I have netmiko. I will have PyYAML. Let's leave it like this for now. I'm thinking what else I will need. At some point I will need something else, but for now let's just keep it like this. Okay, so PyYAML, netmiko, okay, good to go. So I have to save this requirements.txt, and I think I have to say pip, let me go to the folder python SSH, and I have to say python, sorry, I have to say pip install -r requirements.txt, and it will download the libraries. It will take a while because actually netmiko has a lot of dependencies on its own. Okay, so perfect. So if I now do pip freeze, I have actually a bunch of libraries installed with this too. So I have, but most importantly, I have netmiko, I have paramiko. So paramiko is a more general SSH handler, so SSH library with which you connect to any device. Netmiko is built on top of it, which has some level of abstraction for networking devices. So if there is no support in netmiko, we can either, like for some specific vendor, we can either implement on our own, or we can fall back to paramiko and then handle some stuff there. Okay, so great. Let's also copy this YAML version for the future. netmiko 2.0.0, perfect. Okay, so I have this. Now I have to. I was starting reading about the inventory file for Ansible. Let me make it bigger. Inventory can be in one of many formats, categories. Okay, this is ini-like, all hosts, children. Okay, let's actually have it. Let's have it like this. Let's have hosts. No, let's have children. Why do they have children? No. Let's. I don't want to have children right now. Let's have HQ for now. SJ HQ. And here we will have hosts, and here we will have our devices. So, okay, so I need to specify in such a format for dictionary, Ansible port, Ansible host. Let me see, Ansible, this guy is. So just to clarify, for now I am not going to use Ansible yet, but since I was planning to use YAML file for my netmiko, I decided, okay, maybe it makes sense to actually have the file in the same format, so I can reuse it later. Let's check some block. Name as command. No, I want to have this separate. This is not good enough. This one I do not like. I want to have the credentials separately in my inventory file. Maybe here. There is some example here. Let's see. ISO. Run commands, inventory host name, username, password. Okay, there is no. Fortunately, there is no YAML here. Okay, guys, give me a second. I have an example somewhere, I think, on my computer. So let me see if I can find it. Because you know, I don't use Ansible a lot, so I already do not recall. Okay, so examples that I have, it's in ini format. I want to have everything in YAML. I don't want to have ini. So there are a couple of groups. And sorry, I cannot show it. I cannot show it really because this is, you know, some of those servers are acceptable. Available publicly, so I can show like credentials for them. Or Maxim, thank you very much for donating. Okay, so the guy have all vars. Okay, so I think the format was like this. So all vars, and then username was like this, and password like this, and then we have a couple of groups. And I want to go back to here, all children. Here. So let's see. Children USA, children Southeast, children hosts. Okay. I think it will be like this. So if I have my host, let's say what I have SJ hub 1, and this will be like a name for it. Then I will have a parameter like Ansible host and IP address. If you guys think I'm completely off the track, just let me know. I'm okay with experimenting and, you know, trying the stuff. I mean, for my Python script, it doesn't really matter in what format I am. You know, I can parse whatever it is. So no, I don't want to have the Ansible host right now. For now, I will have something different. So I will have like this. Host is 192.168.122.15. So let's see, I will need a bunch of those. Okay, for now I need only 5 of them. So I have hub, I have router 1, I have router 2, so this was 11, this was 12, and 2 switches, 13 and 14. So SJ switch 1, and this one switch 2. Okay, that's all good. So I have password here, I have username, password, and I have an IP address. This is pretty much everything that I need for Ansible right now. Sorry, for Ansible, for netmiko. So okay, let me save this. Let me now go to my script and let's start with shebang string user bin env python 3. Okay, what shebang string does is that if you just make your script executable with, you know, with change mod plus x, for example, you can run it with like /script and it will find the proper interpreter. Does not really matter because I usually launch scripts with like Python 3 stuff or Python space script name, something like this, so it doesn't really matter in my case, but I know, like, I just keep doing it. Okay, so all Python scripts have, well, most of the Python scripts have this block, which, like, if name is main, then we call main function. So what this does is to make sure that if the script was executed directly, like Python and name of the script, for example, then we will run main function. If the script was important from some other place, we will not run main function. That's pretty much everything that it does. So I have my main function. I always start with pass. I will import netmiko. I will import by YAML, I think, So now let's check docs. So first function we will need to do will be dev. We will need to read YAML. Read YAML, I think. So we will need a path to YAML file. Let's say path, and by default it will be in the same directory, so it will be inventory.yaml. So here I can already call this function, and I will print whatever this function read YAML, of course. Read YAML here. Okay, cool. So here what we need to do, we need to consult our documentation, obviously. YAML, wiki, reading YAML. Okay, we have to open the file, we have to load all. Really? Load all? This is a method? What can I say? YAML dump load all. Let's see, do they have load all here? So what is the difference between load? If a string or a file contains several documents, you may load them all with YAML.load all. No, I have only one. Okay, so I think I can do only load. So let's try. So first it says you have to open the file. So let's open it. So open path as file YAML content will be file.read. So now I can basically convert this to YAML. Or maybe I will convert it even here. So here I will say YAML by, wait, hold on. It says YAML dot import YAML. Oh, okay. So let me check something here. So if I do import YAML, can I import? Okay, I can import YAML. So, okay, that's all good. So I import YAML and I say YAML.load by file, no, file.read, and now I will just return YAML contents. So usually I use PyCharm. PyCharm is my primary IDE for Python. In this particular case, I use Visual Studio Code. So I switched from Atom to Visual Studio Code, and I think it's actually much better than Atom. So I really like this Visual Studio Code. So yeah, this is the one that I use. So let's see, it also, there is a linter which yells at me. Unused import netmiko. Okay. Module name does not conform to snake case. Oh, right. I have to name it with underscore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Python linter. Let me fix it for you. Okay. Here, what are you complaining about? 2 spaces between functions. Oh, I think it's like missing doc string or something. Okay, never mind. I am not going to comply with machine. Okay, cool. So I can run the script now. Let's see if it works. So in Visual Studio Code you can configure like code runner, and if I did it correctly, oh, it says no such file inventory. What? Read YAML. No such file or directory inventory.yaml. Okay. I'm not sure what it is. Let me run it from here. So if I call Python SSH, okay, so I get basically a beautiful Python dictionary. Beautiful Python dictionary here, which basically returns everything that I expected it to be. Okay, great. So I have this function. Let's think for a second what we should do. So now we should convert this dictionary to a handler for netmiko. So let me quickly open the key requires documentation on the module. So let's say netmiko docs. Read the documentation, project netmiko, latest, a base connection. So I have to specify host, username and password. Port I don't need, it will be default SSH, variables false. Okay, I think we are all good. So here is an interesting part. Now we have to mix variables into one dictionary. Okay, so we have global variables here, which are defined by all vars, and we have specific variables for every host. So I have to create a mix for every host. So I want to say, let me think for a second. First, I want to have a list of hosts. This is my end goal. I want to have a list of hosts. And I do not like something about this YAML file. I want to have this as list actually. So let's see. Okay, now it's a list. Now I don't like this none. This is meh. This is not beautiful. I think I will for now go back, and because I just don't like the resulting structure for now. Okay, I will have it like this for now. Okay, so I need to go and let's say another thing. So I have San Jose, and let's say I have Brussels here. So I have brew. And there will be host as well. And I will say brew. Probably also want to have all of that as big letters. I will have here one host which says brew edge, for example. And here will be another host. brew edge host, and I will put some another pool on 22.20, for example. This looks like no, okay. Let's have here something top level. Let's say it will be devices. Here, this one looks like this is going to be a list. I'm not sure I can delete this thing. Let's try. Right, so it complains about these hosts. I really hate this none here. It's just let's think. Maybe if you have like this site, SJHQ, and let's here have the same thing, site brew. So I have site, oh, now this looks much better. So I have site HQ, and then I have hosts, and then I can specify here like let's say host name, and here will be like IP address, like this. So now this part will be a list. I think I'm overcomplicating things a little bit, but okay. And I will need to redo it for Ansible then, but that's fine. So R2, switch 1, switch 2, and then hub. Three, 4, 5. So let's see, does it give us what we need? So now I have site HJHQ hosts, and I have a list where there is a host name and an IP address. I think this is great. So yeah, let's redo it for others. So here will be host name, and this will be an IP address. Okay, so if I did everything correctly, I have perfect structure here. I really like it. Okay, so great. So now we have to get a list of hosts everywhere. We want to have a list of these hosts. I'm thinking if I should go object-oriented programming already here or not yet. For now it seems like not yet, but what I learned in previous project I was on, you know, at some point I was on like this, I had this choice, like going OOP or not going OOP. And, you know, it seemed like pretty like 50-50, and then I went OOP, and like 1 hour afterwards, I realized, okay, if I didn't go, I would have to rewrite the whole code. So in that situation, it made sense. So I'm kind of like thinking, what kind of queries would I need to say? Probably I would need to say, okay, like give me the devices that only belong to site San Jose HQ, and then I will have to build some parameters from those. Okay, let's actually do this. So I will have a function which says form connection parameters from YAML. So it takes parsed YAML, and that's it. So this one does not create for us documentation. Okay, guys, hold on with me. So I'm going also to open PyCharm here. You know, like I really like the Visual Studio Code until like you need something like more. So like as for text editor, it's great. But if I have like a project or, you know, like a lot of stuff, so it may make sense to switch to full-blown text editor. So just give me a second, I will pull up the PyCharm here. So here it is. I also need to make it bigger for you. Okay, I have to make this text bigger. And I need to make the font bigger as well. Editor, font, main law, let's say what? Let's say 9. Let's say 17. I think 17 is good enough. Okay, so I go back to my project here. I don't want to add anything to Git. Stop asking me these questions. Oops, and this didn't work as well. Okay, this one I also do not like, so just give me a second. I will change this to Google Docs way. So database, terminal, integrated tools, external document. No, it's not external documentation. Here, integrated tools. I like to use Google style. Great. So great. Okay, so form connection. Okay. And there will be another argument which will say, this argument will say, what is the site name that you're looking for? So site, and I will say by default it's all. Okay, so I will have to edit here site. Okay, gets host, no, forms dictionary of netmiko connection parameters for all devices belonging to the site. For all devices, let's say, on the site. This site. So parsed YAML will be why this complaints? So parsed YAML will be YAML no, this will be dictionary. Oh no, hold on. So this will be like this dict. Dictionary with parsed YAML file. Site string name of the site. Default is all. Okay, returns dict connection parameters for netmiko. Great. So now my main function will be like here will be parse YAML, read YAML. Now I want also to have like for now the constant here, and I will say hghq. So now I say okay, give me a list of connection parameters. Let's say I'm still thinking. Maybe it makes sense to have like a dictionary. Here will be like this. Key is hostname, value is dictionary containing netmiko connection parameters for the host name, for the host. Okay, great. So let's call this function here. Let's say connection params will be a form connection params from YAML on parsed YAML, and site is equal to site name. Great. Awesome. So here basically we have to do parsing. So let's go back to our terminal here to kind of understand how it looks like. So we also want to have a way to override parameters. So let's say if I have here a global parameters, I want to be able to say username here is Cisco, for example, if this is what I want. So how do we do it? So first we need to get all global parameters, and then we will update those with okay. So here is what we are going to do. First we need to get global parameters, and this will be parsed YAML. It will be all vars. Okay, so now we have to get the site. And this is where I will have to rework the structure of inventory YAML again, because the sjhq now is a key. I want to be able to get everything on that. So yeah, I will have to fall back to this one, like HQ brew. Okay. So let's say device params, and let's call here params as well. Device params will be parsed YAML all, and then I specify the site, and here I should be careful. I need to use get function, and I want to say get, give me the parsed. Give me the site, like this. So now I'm going to say Why it says unresolved reference? Unresolved reference. No, it's all good. Okay, so now I say if devices params is none. So if it's not there, I'm going to print an error message, and I really want to use fstring, but then I will have to compile Python 3 on my remote machine, so probably I will not use fstring right now, so I will just use normal format string. So I will say format let's say this site does not exist. This site is not specified in inventory YAML file. Let's actually say which one. Is not this site is not specified in inventory YAML, and here I put site. Okay, so some error checking here, and then here I will say what? I will say just return. Actually, you know what? No, I want to raise an exception here. I would say I want to raise key error, and I'm going to do this. So cool. So if device parameters is not known, we are going to go through the whole thing. Let's see. We will get devices. Let's say here what? Let's say here groups. Sites is better. Let's have groups. So, and here I'm going to say, oh, actually here the groups get site. So after I do this, I have this thingy. Let me see how it looks like. So it will say hosts, and there is list of hosts with a host name. Great. So basically now I can loop through as a let's say site site dict. If site dict is none, then I raise an error. Otherwise, I say for host in site dict hosts. Now I also will need results. So say here result param. No, let's say here this will be global params, but here there will be result. So for host inside dict hosts, my key will be host name. So let me think for a second. Okay, first of all, I'm going to create a copy of this parsed YAML, and the reason why, because we are going to mess with the dictionary a little bit. So in order to do it, I need a library called copy, and it's built-in library. And here I will say, first thing I'm going to say, I will say parsed YAML is parsed YAML.deep. Let's say this from copy import deep copy. So now I can call deep copy not parsed YAML. So I'm just creating a copy first because I'm going to modify this resulting dictionary. So for host inside dict, I'm going to extract the host name. So host name will be actually, let's have it like device name maybe. No, let's just keep it host. Host name is fine. So host name will be host.get host name. So now this will be a key. Oh, let's actually do it another way. So I'm going to, for this dictionary, I'm going to pop this host name. So if you don't know what pop does, so if you have a dictionary and you have a key, if you say pop this key, so it will return to you result is the value of this key and delete this key value pair from the dictionary. And you will see just in a second why I have to create a copy of this, why I'm doing this. And I'm also not handling all yet, so I will have to do something there as well. So let's put it here on to do handle site is equal to all. Host name, okay, I'll pop it here. Then I have an IP address, and damn it, I will have to change the IP address to host because this is how the netmiko expects it. Okay, so let's do this. IP address, or let's say host. Let's actually have here host as well. It makes sense because I may have an IP address or I may have like a domain name. So I change it everywhere. Host name and there is host. Okay, so if I do this, no, then I don't need to do any kind of black magic. So now I can put a result. So first in the result I am putting the key, which will be a host name. Second thing that I'm doing, and then second thing that I'm doing, I'm assigning it global parameters. I'm saying this result of host name is equal to empty dictionary. Result of, or let's say, no, let's do this. Host dict will be empty dictionary. Now host dict host name will be host name. Now host dict.update will be global params. So what update function does on the dictionary, it takes another dictionary and you put all of the parameters from that dictionary on top of existing one. So first I start with global parameters, and now I will say host dict.update the host here. And now I have to, at the very end, I have to append this to result. So result. No, this is not correct one. This part is not needed. So result host name will be host dict, and then I return the result. Okay, so let's see. Probably I screwed it up. Oh, I don't print anything, so let me print connection params. Of course. Let's actually have pprint. So from prettyprint import prettyprint. And here the space. Okay, cool. Why it didn't change IP address to host? Oh, I didn't save it. Okay. Look at this. This is beautiful. So now I have like a host name, which is a key, and for every host name, I can get the connection details, and I can, you know, I have this in the format which netmiko understands. Now, what's more, let me show you the beauty of this solution. So let's say for this guy, I have username different. So let's say this one has Cisco. And for switch 2, I have, I don't know what I have. Let's say NTP server. I know this does not belong here, but that's fine. I'm just doing it for a test. So here you see for the hub 1, the username changed from admin to Cisco. And for switch 2, I have these additional parameters here. I think this is pretty cool. So we have like proper over, you know, you can override parameters correctly. Great. So now I can connect to every device using netmiko, which is pretty straightforward. Let's see. Host username, password from netmiko base connection. What is IP? IP address of target device. Not required if host is provided. Okay, cool. So just for the test, let's go to every device and get show IP interface brief. Yeah, I think this will be a good test. So let's see. And I want to have actual list of commands. So let's say commands list. I want to have a couple of them actually. Yeah, and this will be a list. And the first command will be show clock. Second one will be show version. Third one will be show inventory. And fourth one will be show IP interface brief. Interface brief. Great. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so I have this. Now I want to connect to the devices. So dev, let's say thinking like how I will name a function. So let's say dev collect outputs, and you specify devices and commands list and commands, let's say just commands, and you also need to let's say specify if you want to have it in separator or with like this separator. So separator, it will be like in one file you will see, I will just have it, never mind. I will explain once we start doing it. So for our devices will be that host name and connection handler pair. Right, so devices commands. Let's see, so this one will be a list, this will be dict, this says dictionary where key is host name, value is netmiko connection dictionary. Commands list, list of commands to be executed on every device. Great, so here we return, so this can be tricky. So what I want to return? Do I want to return like I can return dictionary, I can return list. What do you want me to return, guys? Dictionary, list? What you would prefer to see? So basically this function will go to every device and execute this bunch of commands and return them back. I think we can have like a dictionary, but okay, let's just have a dictionary for now. Key is host name, value is string with all outputs. There is some stuff that I do not really like though. I'm thinking really. All of this stuff will be terribly inefficient. I could do something better here. Okay, let's try. So I'm going to remove this host name. I'm going to remove this as well. I'm going, instead of returning the result, I'm going to yield host dict. This will never be reached. So yield builds a generator. So I'm going through every host for the site and I'm returning the I'm popping this dictionary of parameters. Now this one will take a generator of these things. So okay, this one I like much better. So first thing I am going to do, I'm going to pop from, let's say, devices basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to say for device in devices. First thing I'm doing, will be doing the same thing. I'm going to pop hostname. So my dictionary now is correct. So now I can say netmiko. Is it connection handler or base connection? Let me see. Netmiko example. Connect handler. Okay, so here will be connect handler, and I am getting this device, and this will be connection. So now I just send the commands. Oh, you see there is one additional thing, device type Cisco, so this part I need to add here as well. Let's add it everywhere. So device type will be Cisco IS. Okay. This is good. Let's think more if all is good here. So for every device I'm going to get the host name. I'm going to use connection handler like this, find prompt I don't need, and then I use send command. And then let's say so connect then for every command, for command in commands, I'm going to use connection, and I'm going to say send command. Say this will be command result connection send command. And I'm sending my command. I'm getting result back. At the very end I would like to join it. So device result will start with first string called, let's say I have this symbol equal 80, no, let's say 20 times plus the same symbol called 20 times plus the host name. So this will be host name. Okay, device result. For every command I'm going to get the command. I am going to device result dot append command result, and I think I also would like to see the executed command. to have stuff similar here. So I'm going to add command result. Great, so now I can merge all of this. And for now I will also yield this. No, first I have to merge it. So this will be, I will join by 2 new lines this device result. Device result string, and I'm going to yield the string, so I'm going to create generator too. So now for device in connection params I can say, well, print to me collect outputs. Oh, no, I did it incorrectly here. So for device in collect outputs, connection params and commands list, print for device result, print device result. So I think this one will be okay. Now the problem here is that I cannot test it on my computer, so I have to commit this code and send it remotely because I don't have access to the lab directly. I'm thinking if I can do it more beautifully. I think I could, but yeah, let's leave it like this for now. So yeah, let's see. So I will have to commit this. So I have to create a new branch. So let's say what, git checkout b dev git status. Let me add to git ignore .idea. Okay. So now I git add everything and I git commit netmiko outputs collector. And now I push git push -u origin dev. Because I want to create this branch remotely, I have to specify -u flag because dev is not present remotely. So now let me go to the browser real quick here. So here, network programmability lab. If I refresh this, I should see my dev branch. I have my Python SSH, where I have my YAML file, or I have my Python SSH script. That's great. So let's see if this works. And I lost access to the lab. Let's see. So Python's okay. So there are a couple of things that I need to do. So first, I'm going to create also virtualenv directory. I'm going to go to repositories and network programmability lab. I need to, with Python 3, I need to create virtual environment in my virtualenv's, let's say netdev, the same one. Virtual environment was not created successfully because ensure pip is not available. Really? Okay, let's install this. Takes forever, but okay. Let me create virtual environment. Seems to be successful. Let's activate this. netdev bin activate. Great. Now I also git pull the changes. Yeah, let's do git pull. Okay, so now I have this branch dev git checkout dev. So I should be, yeah, I have my own code here. There is one additional thing that is really important. So I need to install my requirements in the virtual environment. So Python SSH, and I have to say the same thing. Pip install -r requirements.txt. So this will also take a while. Oh, not a while, but some time. Failed build. That's so awesome. Okay. Let's do one thing. Which pip? The pip is using correct version. Let's try upgrading this. Again, requirement already satisfied. I don't know, there was some problem there. Failing build, text FSM. Okay, let's try running our script, but I don't have a lot of faith in this. Oh! Seems to be working. That's pretty cool. Oh, there is one thing that I want. Well, there are a couple things that already I see like a problem, but like this output, I wanted to have command here first, and then I wanted to have command result. So we are going to fix that. That's not big of a deal. I don't see a host name. Oh, I see here a host name, so this part is fine. Okay, so I'm going to fix some of those bugs. But I'm impressed, like, I wrote the code and, you know, like, it didn't crash or anything, and I didn't even test it. This is the first time I tested it, basically, on my remote box. With yields and all other stuff. Pretty impressive. Okay, so there are two things. So first of all, I want to fix this formatting. This is crap. Second thing is I want to make sure that I close connection after the script ends. And I don't think it's done by default. So let's see. Either is close. Either is disconnect. Okay, so I will need to have this. Need to use disconnect, because otherwise you will have a bunch of stale sessions on the device. Not good. Not good. So before I yield here, I can close the connection. I can say connection.close. This first thing. Second thing, I want to change the formatting a little bit. So I want to say here I want to see the command, maybe with some spaces. You know what? Actually, I will do this. I will have space, space, and now I will have a format, and there will be a couple of things. Command. Let's do it it's even better. So like this. So with this notation we will put the first argument first, and then we will put the second argument first, and then we will put the first argument again. And I think I can have here the same thing. So I can say here format, where I have the same 0, 1, 0. Times and hostname. Okay, so I append the command, and I have to close this as well. And now I append to the result the string itself, which will be append command result. Great. And here I close the connection. So, and I want to do it, I think I want to save it to the file, like collect outputs. I'm thinking, should I like write to the file or not yet? Let's leave it like this for now. Let's also fix documentation here. So collects commands from the dictionary of devices. Oh, oops. And let's also add here reads inventory YAML file, and returns dictionary with parsed values. Pass, this will be string, pass to inventory YAML, returns dictionary parsed YAML values. Inventory YAML values. Okay, so I don't need this result. I don't need all of this. Let's do some formatting here. Okay, this looks good. So let me do another commit. Let's see what git status says. I modified one file. Okay, so I git add this file, I commit fix formatting in netmiko outputs collector. Okay, and I do git push. So you see, now I don't need to do -u. So now I go here to the device, I do git pull. I have some changes, so now I run my script again. And let's hope for the best. What? No. No. Cisco SSH object has no attribute clause. Oh. I know what that is. Okay, let's fix it here. It should be disconnect. And unfortunately my Vim skills are pretty bad. Like, at least I know how to exit Vim, but other than that I do not know much about Vim, unfortunately. Okay, so let's try the script again. Okay, so let's see this result. So shop interface brief, inventory, version, clock, SJ, hub 1. Okay, so probably there are a couple things that I want to change. Let me think for a second. Yeah, like I want here a little bit like different view. But we basically went to our 4 devices and we collected something. So now we could configure something. You know what? I mean, we are almost out of time, but I want you to give you a teaser and I will explain like what I do exactly in a couple of streams, okay? Because I cannot like cover during 15 minutes this topic, but I can just show you the result. So, you know, probably what you saw is that it just runs slow, like slow, like enormously slow, okay? So how we can optimize it? Well, there are a couple of techniques. One is threading, so you create a bunch of threads and basically the scheduler will switch between threads when let's say on on its own decision, so it will be its own decision when to switch threads. The problem with threads is that I see people trying doing them to do them wrong. So like, oh sorry, and my music ended again. So let me launch it back. Yeah, so like I see people who are trying to do threads, they do not do it right, unfortunately, and they see some strange bugs. The main problem why people do not get expected results is that they do not really understand how threads work, and that whenever you have a shared variable and you read write somewhere, it's kind of like dangerous. I mean, not dangerous in terms of that your computer will explode, it's dangerous in the fact that you will mess things up if you don't exactly understand what is going on. So whenever you use threads, you need to either make sure that your threads do not read write the same kind of resource, or if they like do it in separate threads. Sorry, what I wanted to say is that we basically need to have only one thread managing a resource, and we need to use queues there, and occasionally we will also need to acquire locks, and basically it's all complicated stuff, so people do not get it right, especially people who are not Python developers full-time. So that's the danger with threads. And also there is like another thing is that threads aren't exactly fast in Python. The main reason why is that for one Python process only one Python thread execution possible at the same time because of GIL, global interpreter lock. So whenever the thread is switched, the thread is acquiring global interpreter lock. So until the next switch, only this thread can execute. So, and you saw it here, like all of this stuff was very, in this case I didn't use threads, so without using threads, connecting to 5 devices already takes like forever. Okay. So there is like technique which is not new in general in programming, but it's new in like kind of new in Python. Like people, it basically became part of standard library in 3.5, which is called asyncio, asynchronous input output. Asyncio is a standard library. So in this way we can actually have one thread, and whenever there is a time-consuming operation of read-write, like SSH connection, right? You send data somewhere, or like database task, or or read-write from or to disk, right? So all of these I/O operations, if you have like just threads, your computer will be like idle during that time until the thread is switched by scheduler. If you use async, you can specify on your own, you can control on your own when your context will be switched for the tasks that you define. So I'm thinking to try writing a quick async program to kind of like have it the teaser that this is what you can use. But we will cover that more in details some other time. Because it's actually a really complicated topic on its own. So let me do it. Okay. So for that we will need to use another library instead of netmiko, and the library that exist for this is called netdev. and it's developed by actually by our Russian colleague netdev. Yeah, this is the one. Let's see, git self Leon. I can't recall his username properly. No. Oh, here I got it right. So this is the library on the git. Asynchronous multi-vendor library for interacting with network devices inspired by netmiko. Okay, so we will have to have this netdev library. Let me install it locally for now. Pip install netdev, and I will add it to requirements.txt. So netdev 071 requirements netdev 071. Okay, cool. So let's actually go ahead and test and show the stuff here. Device async run, device, yep. Generator. Okay, so our stuff will change a little bit, and I think I will create a copy of the file. So this will be Python async SSH. Do you want? Don't ask me. I will add if I want to add something. So here will be netdev. Stuff here will be pretty much the same, except of we will need async dev functions in the main. So let's see. Here we would have to change something. So this can be blocking. Loop asyncio get event loop, and then we will have loop run until complete run. And give me a second, because for this I want to make sure that it actually works locally, because I don't expect I will be able to get result properly from the first attempt. So let me see what devices I have. I have locally somewhere on my network, which I could use for tests. Just give me 1 second, guys. I think I have at least one somewhere. Okay, I have CSR 16.6 GS. Okay, so I'm also going to create here a temporary YAML file. So let me create here directory called temp, and I will copy this and put it in temp. And yes, this will be temp. Here will be Cisco, and I pretty much get rid of all of this, and then I say CSR 16.6 GS. Okay, so I will be playing with this box because I can access it from my computer. So netdev, print command list pretty much the same, so all of that stuff is the same. This will be changed to temp, or maybe here in the function we will have temp.inventory YAML. So I'll have to create tasks. So for collecting outputs for, we'll have to redo this a little bit. We'll have to create a function for every device. So this will be collect outputs, this will be device commands, and this will change just a little bit. So this will be async with netdev create, and this will be device params. I will have to start with this popping the host name, device params, and here I call device params async with as connection. So now I get device result for command. In commands, this part is pretty much the same, and I have to say not yield but await, and this will be async dev. Keyword, async keyword is not expected here. Oh, I know why it complains, because I didn't specify the async keyword became reserved in 3.5, I think. So before that there was none. So I have to add the interpreter. I think it's in build, console, project interpreter, and I have to change this. Add local, and I have to say users, team figure, repositories, network program. No, it's not correct one. So this will be virtualenvs and then netdevops, and I think it's bin. I have to check this. cd virtualenvs, and then netdevops, bin python. Yeah, it's bin python. So it's bin python. Why are you complaining? Location field path is not directory. Let's try again. DevOps bin Python. So this part I do not recall why it's not working. Location directory is not empty. time. Right, so virtualenvs netdev ops pin Python. Okay, and there are libraries there, so I should be able to, once this is done, this async, okay, see, async became proper one. So device params, okay, so async collect outputs device parameter. So I have a host name, I get this async, and then I get class str does not define a wait. So wait operator cannot be, yeah, I should return this. So this will be a task where I give it a parameters and I execute commands and I get resulting string. So I need to, okay, there are a couple of important stuff here. So whenever I use send command, I need to use await, because this is a point where I can switch the context. So I use it only here. So I await only here. Can I close this connection? I don't need to close because I have a sync handler, async with statement here, so it should close automatically. Username, host, IP address for task, async wait your tasks. Okay, async your wait tasks. Okay, so here I have to create tasks. I have to say tasks will be and here I also going to print this before I return it. Oh no, I will print it at the very end. So tasks will be collect outputs for device in inform connection parameters, blah blah blah. I collect outputs for this device, and there is command list. This will be a task which is awaiting. Okay, so I have to now run until complete, and then I have to say async your await tasks. So after the tasks are done though, I think I can say for task in tasks print task result. I think this is correct one syntax. So right now I have only one device to test. So I have to create a runner for this function. Name async what? Oh, okay, right. So I also have to import asyncio. Let's see. Coroutine object has no attribute result. But is this like this? Let me see, I had somewhere example on my computer. So let's see, ls Dropbox programming Python asyncio, and I had an example with actually netdev here that I wrote around a couple weeks ago. So let's see, okay, so this is also calling asyncio await tasks, loop create tasks. So this one is calling loop create task. This is in one part, and then loop interesting. I don't see here a result parameters anywhere. Oh, it is global one. Okay. Let me find documentation. Asyncio get result from task. I think the coroutine works as is, just use the return value from loop run until and call asyncio gather. Task 0 result. Okay, I think I will be able actually to call result. Let's try here. So if I say loop, how was it in my code? Loop create task. Create task. Let's do this. Okay. Run again. Nice. Amazing. So this actually works. So let me remove this temporary file. Let me save this. And now I am going to commit this change and run it there. So git status, I will add to git ignore temp folder. Git ignore, so temp is excluded. Git status now has git ignore python ssh requirements txt python async ssh.py. Perfect. So now I git add -a and I git commit async version async outputs collector using netdev. And now I git push. And did I fix the problem there? Which I didn't do. Okay. I have to do here disconnect git status git add python ssh git commit fix connection closing in python ssh git push. We are almost there, guys. So let me git pull here. So I have to git stash. No, git checkout. Okay. Git status. I forgot the command. Let's say git checkout. I think git checkout python ssh. This is command git status. your branch is behind origin pull by 2 commits. Okay, git pull. Great. So now let's do it again. Let's call now my async function. Python async py. Oh, I didn't install the module. Okay, so Python install -r requirements. So we will have to install the libraries. And now I run this code again. And did you see how fast it was? And I'm scrolling right now back. So there is for hub, for switch 2, for switch 1. So let me just show you again. So first I am going to call non-async version. So Python ssh.py. And unfortunately I didn't include like no, you know guys, let me stop this. Unfortunately I forgot to include like Python time measurement. So let me do it like in Google, like stopwatch. Okay, so ready? I'm starting this. We got the first output. We got the second output. So it's around. We got the third output. Fourth output. So 30 seconds fourth output. Done. So 30, like around 36 seconds or so. Okay. Non-async version. Async version. Python async SSH py. Oh, no. Let me run it again. So, like 2 seconds maybe, and we got all the same results. So this is like extremely fast. And this program runs in one thread, in one process. So there is, no additional threads or anything. There is no additional overhead really, except of loop, but loop is not big overhead. So 2 seconds compared to 36 seconds. This is just amazing. And if you add more tasks here, it will run as fast, right? So because on every connection, whenever we do any kind of I/O, we can switch the context, and basically you can launch as many tasks as you want in one thread, and it will all be fine. The downside, the biggest downside of using any kind of asyncio technique is you will have to really rewrite your code. You will need to have async. You will need to use libraries which are async, like netdev, for example. I cannot use a netmiko anymore. I will have to use await statements. I have to think where I can create this loop to create tasks, and when I can get them back. So all of that is, it's not as straightforward as it seems. It's especially hard when you want to integrate, where you have a lot of async, where you have a lot of synchronous code, and you want to introduce async there. So yeah, this is not as easy as it sounds, but we are going to explore it. So again, this was just a quick sneak peek for you, like how you can easily improve just simple, outputs collector via SSH, right? Like, and if I give this guy, like, instead of 5 devices, if I will give it 500, it will take, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds, because async does not really care, right? Whenever we do I/O, we just switch the context and that's all. So yeah, I think that this is a good point to wrap up for today. We are we are approaching 3 hours now. I think we even crossed that point. So I'm going to upload the recording as always. Let's quickly like sum up what we did, right? So we basically started by, you kind of like checking the topology. We started by, okay, we configured manually the management connection on every, not on every, on most of the devices here, so that I am able to access them from my host machine where I'm hosting the lab. This Ubuntu does not work, so I will have to investigate this. So then we basically, after we configured SSH by hand, we started using netmiko library just to collect some outputs. Okay, and basically I wrote some wrapper where you can, where we have a YAML file, we put everything in YAML file. There are global parameters, there are per device parameters, whatever you want. We extract those parameters in our Python code, we run netmiko library to collect those outputs from multiple devices. That was pretty much it. And then at the very end I showed you, okay, there is much clever and interesting way to do it if we are talking about hundreds of devices, and that is using asynchronous programming techniques. So let me, what is going to be next time, next Sunday? So for the next Sunday, I'm thinking of is we have to actually configure our stuff. We have to start with at least IP addressing. So, and I'm thinking that it's good that we didn't do any kind of IP addressing today, because I am willing to spend the next stream on checking the netbox. So I want to see how this IPAM works, what we can do there. And I'm going to create the subnets there and all of that stuff. And then I'm also probably, if you will have time, start exploring their APIs. So I want to put everything in my IPAM system, like netbox. And then in my Python code, using their API, I want to pull all those so that, I don't do anything by hand, really, except of initial putting into the database, so that our IPAM will be a source of truth. So yeah, this is a plan for the next time, investigating the netbox, adding the subnets for our devices, and exploring API using Python. Sounds good? So before we finish, let me just stay here for a couple of minutes. Maybe you have some questions, and then we will end the stream on this positive note. While I'm still kind of like waiting for your questions, I'm going to go to my Git repository. And by the way, guys, give kudos to this gentleman if you ever encounter him. Like, he really did a great job of writing all of this library, and he's the only one doing it, a single person, so that's pretty amazing. So use time command in bash. So you're saying that I can just, let's try, saying that I can do this, time bash command. So let's see. Usually whenever I want to measure time, I put like in Python the statements to do it. Time your script sh. Okay, let's try. So it was what, Python. Let's do just for async SSH. Maybe I will need to specify that I'm running the like this. Okay. That didn't work so well. Okay, this... Oh, I used Python. Haha. It would be like bash c, maybe like this. No, I'm not sure how can I do it with this. I mean, I can obviously put this in SH script, but meh. Let's try this. Python measure time from Linux. Yeah, so here's the offer this in Python. Oh, nice, thank you. So this will be Python async ssh.py. .79 seconds. That's amazing. That's really amazing. Just for the test, let's use this. While it's running, I am going to go to my Git repo and merge the code to master, so you guys can, if you like interested, you can get this code and and try it. So where is my network programmability lab? Let me go here. Network. Oh, I think I have it here. Okay, network programmability lab. Oh no, here on the right side. So here is 36 seconds. Now I scroll. So there was 1.8 seconds and here it was 36 seconds. What can I say? Guys, learn asynchronous programming. I know it's actually not exactly easy, but whenever you have this kind of task where you need to do something on multiple devices and you can't use Ansible, for example, because Ansible is launching threads as far as I remember. Whenever you have to do it strictly in Python code, really try doing the asynchronous programming. If you get it, if you will understand it, you will have big advantage, So okay, so let's compare and pull request. No, let's add async version of collector script. Okay, create pull request and merge. I could do it from CLI because I am able to push to master, but I decided I could do it from here. So I'm going to here, I'm going to dev. Oh no, sorry, to master. Everything is in master now. Python SSH, and there is Python async SSH is an example that I just wrote for you guys. So I also do not see any other questions. Thank you for this suggestion, and your nick is in yellow and I cannot read it, I'm sorry. Oh, it's Creo Ozon Oz1. Okay, thank you very much for the suggestion this time program. That was really helpful. So I already discussed what we did today and what we are going to do next. Just a quick reminder, next time the plan is to explore Netbox to enter our IP subnets and then explore their API as well, if we can pull those values from Python. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today, and I wish you a great evening, and see you 1 week from now at 6 p.m. Central European Time or 12 p.m. EST or 9 a.m. PST time. Thank you and bye bye.